time on Legends.
It's our pilot episode, and this stunning Keys Van der Westen Mirage is hot off the truck. We gotta get it on the bench, check it over, and make some decisions. There's a lot to do, so let's get at it. I'm Dave Miller, and I sell and service high-end espresso machines.
Do I look a little less like a crazy person now?
Specialty coffee is an adventure. It's complex, fascinating, and delicious. In this series, you'll see how special and beautiful our machines can be.
Welcome to the first edition of Legends Workshop. This is a really special day because I've got in front of us what might just be my favorite acquisition yet. I think my GS3 at home might be a close second to this one, but this one's definitely my favorite. It's a 2012 Keys Van der Westen Mirage Duet Veloce. I completely rebuilt this and customized it for a customer about 4.5 years ago, and this machine became available, and when they told me that they were selling it, I couldn't resist. I had to buy it back. We're going to do an evaluation on it, and I figured while we're doing that, why don't I show you just what it is about the Mirage that makes it so special.
All right, now I've just taken the side panels off so you can get a look inside, and I also took a few other things out of the way so I can kind of show you how the brew circuit works. A lot of you might be surprised to learn that this is a standard heat exchanger style brew circuit on this machine. So a lot of his early machines really remind me of art objects. Come on, Harold. No, don't get into that. From a technical standpoint, his machines are just as brilliant. He really has a happy knack for challenging people's technical assumptions. In fact, I think the Keys machines really are the highest expression of the espresso machine as an art object, and similarly, the Mirage is really an example of what I consider to be the highest expression of what a heat exchanger style machine can be. He's taken the traditional thermosiphon E61 style layout and really adjusted and tuned it to a level that allows it to be more temperature precise than just about any other machine of its type on the market. So the Mirage, for me, challenges a lot of conventions, and I find that really technically and artistically satisfying. My hands are frozen. You're a good boy. So here you can see we've got a heat exchanger that runs through the boiler here. Well, maybe you can't see it, but it kind of takes this direction here. You've got the upper circulation pipe and the lower circulation pipe right here. The water in the upper and the lower heat exchanger pipes are constantly circulating through the process of convection. And there's a chamber right up here in the front of the group that is designed to allow that water to circulate and keep the group hot. But here is where the water is drawn for making coffee. This brew valve opens when the pump comes on and allows water to travel down into the coffee bed through a series of little channels inside the group so that you can perform an extraction. The groups on the E61 might be familiar to some of you, and that's because they're based on the E61 paddle design that Ernesto Valente developed in 1961 for Fiamma to be released on their E61 machines that everybody knows so well. You can see here that we've got a lever that's missing on the Mirage, and this lever was used to manually open and close the brew and exhaust valves located at the top and the bottom. So pointing it upward would pre-infuse, and going further would activate the pump so that water would be transferred from the circulation pipes down to the coffee bed to start your extraction, and then when your extraction was finished, you'd point it downward and that would open a path to the drain on the back of the group. On the Mirage, however, all those mechanical parts get removed and tossed. They'll close up the hole connecting the circulation chamber with the delivery cam right here. They'll put a cap up on the top and on the side, and on the bottom they either install a cap or what they call a progressive pre-infusion cylinder. So it's basically an empty cylinder like this, you can see in there, and then a piston held up by a spring. So when the brew cycle starts, the water actually starts going in here before it goes into the coffee. It'll push this piston down, and as the piston continues to travel, the spring tension will increase, and that results in a very progressive ramp of pressure until the piston reaches the bottom of its travel, and then you'll start to see full pressure applied to the coffee bed, and that just keeps it from channeling or cracking. They'll also insert a cross drilling through the back of the delivery cam housing, and then they'll plumb that to a brew valve that can be opened and closed electrically. It's really quite clever, you know, in that Keys was able to take the pre-infusion ability of the E61 and automate the process purely by mechanical means. Well, that's all great, but what does this machine specifically need in order to give it a new lease on life? Well, obviously it's 8 years old, so it's got some issues with it. Cosmetically, I mean, I have no idea how these dents and dings got in the group here, but we're going to have to either remove them and rechrome the groups or replace them. There's not a lot of scale on it, but in order to get it into perfect condition again, it's all got to be brought back to new. So we're going to do that. All the seals and gaskets will be done, but we want to spice it up too. How can we do that?
The Mirage is a beautiful, high-performance machine, but 8 years of service are beginning to leave their mark. To give this hot rod the best start at its next phase of life, it needs a full going through with a cosmetic and functional restoration. But because it's a Keys van der Westen, we've got more treats in store for this gem.
Well, this machine already had some custom touches done to it when I first rebuilt it 4 years ago. As you can see, it's no longer the original black color. We went with this slightly off-white color, and I changed the backlight color as well to black from white. It has Electra 60s steam valves on it, so you'd have that nice snap of the paddle action. And I also put in a nicer La Marzocco PB brew gauge in there. But this time, we want to take that custom touch even further. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the splash panel here to the most current edition. We'll take these old 3D5 volumetric panels off and replace them with the new Bellini touchpads. These pressure gauges are really neat because as opposed to the standard brew pressure gauge, which measures the entire circuit, this one takes its reading from right on top of the coffee bed. So you can actually see the extraction evolving in real time. So we're going to put that one on this group as well as the other one over here so that you can see exactly what's going on. Obviously the original portafilters that shipped with the machine were in pretty bad shape. So I went ahead and ordered these updated handles and mated them to these bottomless solid stainless steel portafilter heads. They're a lot more resilient than the original brass units, so they're going to look and perform a lot better.
So, I don't know, you want to see me make some coffee with it, I guess? Sure you do. So, we're gonna do that.
You know, life's just better with a Patreon membership. See, like, you get this riveting exclusive content. I get to afford this fancy milk that comes in a bottle. So really, everybody wins.
Huh? So, there's my intake process on rebuild projects and my very own first Keys van der Westen Mirage. I can't wait to get started on this. I've always loved rebuilding and customizing machines, and to get to do it on a machine of this caliber is huge for me. I can't wait. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a Patreon supporter, head on over to the Plutonium Plus Luxury Lounge. We'll hang out, play Candy Crush together. I'll tell you what I had for breakfast. I got some juicy B-roll of Harold getting into the garbage while I was out on a call. Spoiler alert, he frickin' slaughtered it. Lastly, and for God's sake, the cutoff time for Candy Crush requests is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, Australia.
Also, honest question, are Tim Tams in the Aussie Rules version of that game? I hope so.